Hello, my name is Brooke Peterson, and I wanted to share this short little video for you to help you maximize your program. Now, 5 months at the time of recording, the Well Woman Intensive is 5 months. And I want to make sure that you maximize each month of the program. So I put together 10 helpful program tips to help you maximize your Well Women Intensive experience. This might be something that you go back and review each month because life happens, we get busy, and this is a great tips to remind us to refocus and really get as much value as possible for your journey as you can. So let's jump right into it. 10 helpful program tips. Tip number 1 is to refer to our private Facebook group. In our intro call, we probably already have gotten you access to the Well Women Intensive private Facebook group. This is a place where I want to encourage you to ask your questions, share tips, share challenges, things you're working through, and also share wins, just as importantly. This would be a great place to share your completed workouts. If you're following along on your live monthly workout subscription, and you finish a good workout, whether it's through your subscription or maybe on your own at the gym, post a sweaty selfie, say, hey, just checking in, intensive members, finished my workout. How about you? That's a great way to build camaraderie and have a place that you know other women are also being intentional in their fitness, in their nutrition. Share healthy recipes. Again, this is kind of our hub for the next 5 months of a healthy community. Hopefully you have others in your lives who also value their health and wellness, but for sure this is a group that does. So if you have healthy recipes or healthy swaps or just things that you think would help our Well Women members in their journeys related to health, related to faith, related to leadership or personal development, please feel free to share that in our group. And then finally, as far as asking questions, most likely, if you have a question, someone else does. So this would be a great place to kind of learn and come together and also provide feedback from all the other members as well, because I know each of you have a lot to offer. Number 2 is decide what you can let go. So just take a moment and think, are there any responsibilities or commitments you can release in the next 5 months to get the most from your intensive? I know as women especially, we tend to overcommit. We tend to say yes as the automated response versus no. So I just want to gently encourage you to take a look at your responsibilities, your schedule, your workload. Is there anything that you can politely or respectfully maybe decline in this season? Is there any responsibilities that you need to ask help for? Maybe it's with childcare, with kids. Maybe it's help around the house. Maybe it's teaming up with a team member at work to kind of lessen your load. Whatever it is, whatever this looks like for you, I just encourage to proactively decide what can you let go? What can you release responsibilities for just in this next season, in this next 5 months, so that you are creating margin for yourself to, number 1, dive into the intensive to get the most as you possibly can from it. But then also 2, as just a practice to start to set up your life in such a way where there's actually margin. Like you don't necessarily have to have something going every night of the week. Isn't that a great thought? So number 2, decide what you can let go. Number 3, this will be so important, schedule weekly group calls. So on these weekly group calls, these are already scheduled in on your homepage, in your membership portal. You will have access to the link to join those calls each week. But I want to encourage you to, number 1, make those calls a priority. I get that life will come up and there might be times where you're not able to attend. Each call will be recorded. However, I know from personal experience that I get the most value from these calls when I show up live in person. And another tip to get the most value from these calls is to come with questions. Come ready to share something helpful with someone else. This puts you in the posture of a leader. I think a leader always enters a situation ready to listen first and foremost, but also prepared to share something that might add value to someone else. So this is a great skill. This is a great way to be accountable, not only for these 5 months, but I believe that that will trickle over beyond the program as you lead groups yourself, as you take others maybe through similar processes or continue to step up into areas of leadership. So schedule weekly group calls. Number 4, order your monthly book. Like we said about deciding if there's anything that you can let go in this season. So what happens is when we create more margin in our life, all of a sudden we have more time, and our automatic response is usually to want to fill that time. And because we're human, usually we want to fill that time with entertainment or things that give us that quick dopamine release, i.e. food or any other crutch that we run to, besides sometimes the more difficult decision in the moment to turn to a book, to turn to scripture, to turn to an encouraging conversation with a friend. So this monthly book club that we have throughout this program is really designed in such a way to help you fill the time that you have with something that's meaningful and something that will fill up your cup instead of getting burnt out or just turning to something that's quick, provides that dopamine release like food or Netflix, and using this new margin you have in this season from giving your best yes and filling it with a book of our choice. Again, we have recommended books throughout the program each month. There's even bonus reading recommendations. If you're like a bookworm and you can just get through the books like no one's business, you are welcome to do that. But if this is a stretch for you, I encourage you to take one book a month. And even if it's not the recommended reading that we've picked out throughout this program, I encourage you to share the book that you're reading and maybe you need in this season. But the point is to, number 1, get the book because you'll be more likely to read it, and get it ahead of time because I know from experience how quickly weeks can go by, right? And all of a sudden the month is gone and you're like, man, I didn't even order that book. So make it a priority. If I were you, I'd probably order all 5 books right away, all in one shot, so you don't have to go scrambling to the library or place that order into your program. Number 5 is choose an accountability buddy. Here's the deal. I so deeply desire that you would feel extremely known throughout this program, that you would develop a sisterhood in a sense, and I'll be there for you. We have amazing guest experts that will be there for you, but I want you as a community and as intensive members and sisters is probably a better term to get to know each other. Picking a workout buddy or an accountability could be for workouts. Maybe you need accountability to move your body each day. And so that this buddy that you choose, you can check in, send each other pictures of, hey, I've got my workout in. When are you going to get yours in? An accountability buddy is also amazing for cleanse days. We'll be doing some light detoxing together and learning how to detox our bodies, learn how to do optional cleanse days. And this is a game changer when you implement fasting or cleansing with an accountability partner. Man, it makes it a whole lot more fun, and it makes it a whole lot more easy when you know there's at least one other person on the planet that is currently going a day without food or, limited food, etc. Also, prayer support. So if you're at a place in your faith journey where you're comfortable praying for each other, praying out loud, maybe praying on your own, this is a tremendous gift and a tremendous bonus to have at least one other person who you're being intentional with in the program to know what you can be praying for each other about. It can make a huge difference. So I would encourage you to get to know each other, look at each other's profiles. Maybe you have something in common. Maybe your kids are the same ages. Maybe you're at a similar stage in life. Maybe you have similar interests. I'd encourage you, be the leader, reach out to someone and say, hey, do you want to be my accountability partner? And it doesn't have to be for the full 5 months. Maybe it's just a month at a time. And you see if that's a good fit and you can go from there. But I highly encourage you to take initiative, be a leader, get the most as you can out of this program and choose an accountability buddy. Number 6 is to create an intensive folder. I've done this with similar programs I've been a part of, like this one. There'll be workbooks and worksheets throughout each month on this online portal. And it helps to print out those pages and kind of have it all in one place. So that number one, when you have half an hour here or maybe an hour there to dedicate to your well intensive curriculum and program, you can go right to that folder. All the things are printed out and you can kind of work through that a little bit more easily, keep all your files in one place, and that will just help you really practically to keep things together. And then at the end of your 5-month Well Women Intensive, this is a super valuable resource for you to have, not only now, but in the future. You can essentially go through this material again, have refreshes, see how far you've grown, all the things. So create an intensive folder. Number 7, start fresh each month. I would highly encourage you to map out your intensive goal and personal focus at the start of each new month. Remember, this is 5 months. So typically what happens is we go through the first month really gung-ho, really excited. And then the second month, and we're still with it. The third month, we're kind of dwindling. The fourth month, we're like, what's that program again? The fifth month, we might have totally fallen off the bandwagon. Now, this is not going to be you. This is just the reality of any program or any system. So I, again, want to help set you up for tremendous success and think of each month as a program in itself, essentially, because each month there'll be a particular topic, there'll be a particular focus. So I would encourage you the first of each month to kind of sit down, map out your schedule, map out your responsibilities, the big rocks, and think of, as it pertains to the intensive, what is my big goal this month? What is my one focus? For you, maybe it's purely health related. For you, maybe it's purely faith related. For you, maybe it's purely leadership based or doing personal development. Whatever it is, I want to encourage you to give yourself grace and map out what is your priority each month, okay? And kind of reassess each month. Where do you need to be? What do you need from me? What do you need from your intensive members to get the most as you can from this program? Number 8, similarly, is take advantage of your one-to-one calls. Remember, you can schedule up to 2 one-on-one calls per month. So there's the link to do that in your online portals. And this is the time where you and I get to get really specific and dial down into what you're going through. Maybe there's a particular roadblock that we need to work through together. Maybe it's as simple as brainstorming or just touching base, seeing how you're doing personally in relation to your goals and your focus. I want to encourage you to take advantage of these. These are up to you to schedule. So you get to take the initiative, you get to be the leader, but I highly encourage you to take advantage of these calls. They're extremely valuable time just to get that one-on-one attention and really drill down into what you're currently working through. Number 9, create daily affirmations. We're going to talk more about this in our month one of the program and beyond. But until then, I want to encourage you to put these affirmations that we are going to create together in a note in your phone or on your mirror. This is also the slight edge. Say them out loud morning and night. I promise you, if you committed to do just this one thing in this entire program, just this one thing, where the next 5 months, you created a list of 20 affirmations, things that are not foo-foo or just woo-woo, but things that are actually true about you, perhaps things that the scripture says are true about you, and you said them out loud, that list of 20, super simple, morning and night, your life would drastically change. And I don't want to overestimate or even try to minimize the impact of what that could look like for you. Again, there's going to be a whole lot more content we're going to go through, but I'm just letting you know a little secret. This one thing would be worth the price of the program, and you would experience tremendous transformation in your life if you did so. So although this is very minimal, a very small part of your program, I just want to say that to encourage you to actually do it. And one thing that's helped me is personally putting it on my phone in my little notes app. I have my 20 lists of affirmations, and I say them out loud on a regular basis. Last one, number 10, give yourself grace. Here we go, 5 months together. It's going to be a wild ride. I'm so honored to be on this journey with you, but I want to remind you, it takes 90 days for the female body to really start to register change in our diet, in our lifestyle, in our health tactics. A female body, essentially 90 days, or you could look at it as 3 menstrual cycles to really start to process and shift with the changes that we're making. So even physically, we need to give ourselves grace and we need to give ourselves time. In addition to that, it takes 63 days for a new habit to form, for it to not only form, but to become automatic. It actually takes 63 days, not the typical 21 days that we're used to hearing. So again, this is why the program is 5 months long. We're not just a one-hit wonder here. We are on this journey together for the long haul, and you and I together are going to experience tremendous transformation. So give yourself grace in the process. That's why I suggested reassessing each month. Where are we at? What's my number one focus? And kind of starting fresh. All right. There's a lot that we're going to go through together. We're going to have a blast in the workshops. We're going to have a blast with our guest experts. I hope these 10 tips are helpful for you, even if you need to look back on them to make sure that you're getting the most out of the program, that you're initiating your own success, that you're being a leader that you already are, and reaping the dividends of your investment of time and finances into your program. All right, sister, we'll see you soon. Hope that helped.